Hello, welcome to my Facebook page, my YouTube channel, my TikTok. This is Sichamba Jacob. Alright, so we've got this question, and the question right here came in 2023 GCE. Okay, so the way whoever was writing this exam and the people will be writing their exams in future, the way you're supposed to answer this exam question is like this. First, let's read the question and understand some of the terminologies we're supposed to consider. A lady intends to bake two types of cakes, type A and type B, for sale. She intends to bake at least 30 cakes of type A and at least 20 cakes of type B. The number of cakes of type A must be equal to or more than the number of cakes of type B. The total number of cakes must not exceed 90. Taking X to represent the number of cakes of type A and Y to represent the number of cakes of type B. Write 4 inequalities to represent the information above. So this question, to just write the inequalities, it's 4 marks. So you indicate that this is question 9. Of course, you're dealing with the question 9. So we shall say question 9A. This is where we need to write the 4 inequalities. So inequality 1. First, before we even write the inequalities, let's understand what it means when they say at least. Because for this topic, you need to know the terminologies. When they say at least means greater or equal to. Since type A is being represented by X, so we shall say X is greater or equal to 30. This is because they said she intends to bake at least 30, and we know that at least is greater or equal to. So at least 30 cakes of type A. Again, the next inequality will look like this. Y is greater or equal to 20. They also said at least 20 cakes of type B, and type B is being represented by letter Y. So we shall say Y is greater or equal to 20. The next inequality here, the number of cakes of type A must be equal to or more than the number of type B. Okay? So we know type A is being represented by which letter? X. So they are saying the number of cakes of type A must be equal or more than. So that means greater, okay? Greater or equal to the number of type B, which is Y, which is being represented by letter Y, okay? So the next here will be the last one. They're saying the total number of cakes must not exceed 90. So here we are talking about 2 types of cakes. There is type A, which is X, plus type B, which is Y. Must not exceed, must be less or equal to 90. So these are the inequalities you so far need, okay? Hopefully you've gotten. So the key element here is that greater, whenever they talk about at least, they're talking about greater or equal to. When they say not exceed is less or equal to 90, I think, I guess you've understood or you've gotten 1 or 2 things out of this. So the next question here, they are saying using a scale of 2 centimeters to represent 10 cakes on each axis, X and Y axis. For 0 is less or equal to X, less or equal to 90, and 0 is less or equal to Y is less or equal to 90, respectively. Shade the unwanted region to indicate clearly the region where the solution of the inequalities lie. So here, what you need to know is that each box here is 2 centimeters. From here to here it's 2 centimeters. Here to here it's 2 centimeters, 2 centimeters. So you go down right here, okay? Let me show you. You go down right over here, okay? On the corner down, okay? So you check your graph. It has got this corner right here, okay? So you come to this corner, okay, you can see this corner. Now what follows here, this is where your 0 must be when you're doing linear programming. So that's my 0, okay? So once you do your 0, following your scale, they said x-axis must be up to 90, from 0 to 90. So you get your pencil, you do nicely your x-axis. So this is my x-axis right here, okay? So they said up to 90. So this is my 10, because they said 10 units. I mean, let me read the question again. 2 centimeters to represent 10 units. So whatever they say, if they say 5 units, it means you'll be moving in 5s. Now they've said 10 units, so you'll be moving in 10s. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and 90. So this is our x-axis. Okay, so we're done with the x-axis. We go to the y-axis. The same idea on the y-axis, the same idea. You go up to 90 also. So for y-axis, this is my 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and 90 must be right over here. So I can prolong my y-axis up to here. So this is my y-axis. So when you do that, you now start getting the inequalities. Okay, I'll follow the order. So I'll start with this one, which says x is greater or equal to 30. So for an inequality where you're able to see one letter equal to some constant, so x is greater or equal to 30, meaning we just go to the x-axis. So we follow the x-axis. Hopefully you can see this is our x-axis right over here. So you follow the x-axis. This is your x-axis. Check where 30 is. 30 is over here. So now do a line, okay, passing at 30. So that's what it means. So this is my line over here, okay. So I'll even indicate that I'm actually dealing with x is greater or equal to 30. X is greater or equal to 30. So now which side are we supposed to shade? X is greater or equal to 30. It's this side over here. This is the side we need to shade. Okay, hopefully you know that this is a side. I'll explain more. Let me just shade first and then I'll explain more. All right, so if we follow the x-axis, this is our x-axis. So which side do you think is greater? It's this side. So with inequality, with linear programming, we shade the opposite, or inequalities, we shade the opposite. So if this is a greater sign that you're dealing with, is a greater, we shade the opposite, which is the less. Okay? So let's go to the next one and see what we need to do. So for the next one, it's number 2 here, inequality number 2. They're saying y is greater or equal to 20. So you go to the y-axis. Remember, the y-axis is right here. This is the y-axis, okay? Now, the y-axis, this is 30 and this is 20. You go to where 20 is. So this is my 20 over here. So I'll do my line over here, okay, passing at 20. So I have to indicate also that this is y, okay, is greater or equal to what? To 20. So now to show the inequality, I have to shade the opposite of greater, which is the less. Okay? If you're able to see nicely, this side, the side that I'm shading, is the less over the line. Okay? So you shade nice and easy. Make sure your shading is done properly so that you don't confuse the marker, whoever is marking your work. So this is how it must look like. So this is how it must look like. So you can see we've got greater numbers here, less numbers are down here. The inequality was y is greater or equal to 20. We are supposed to shade the opposite, which is the less. We go to the next one. So for this other inequality right here, okay, let me write it down here so that you understand something. This is x is greater or equal to y. So when you've got two letters, x-axis and y-axis, so this is x, this is y, what you need to do is just pick any numbers of your choice for as long as you're getting them from the Cartesian plane, okay? So I'm going to pick a 10. When I pick 10, I'll say, okay, when x is equal to 10, what will be my y? Of course, I'll get this 10, put it here, so it will be 10 is greater or equal to y, meaning my y is also a 10. So whichever number that you pick will be equal to the x. So what I mean, when x is 10, y will also be 10. So it's right here. X is 20, y will also be 20. X is 30, y will be 30. Okay? And so on and so forth. So meaning the line will pass right here. Okay? So this is where the line will pass over here. So you do your line nicely. Okay? So that's it. So it was x is greater. So when you look at this x-axis, let's use the x-axis. This is the x-axis. Which side is greater when you follow the number line? You find that the right-hand side is greater, the left-hand side is less. So this side of the equation or the inequality is less, and this side is greater. So they said x is greater or equal to y. So we shall shade the opposite, which is, of course, this one. This is the opposite. This is the opposite over here. This is the opposite right over here. So make sure your shading is done properly. Okay, you even indicate that, okay, this is my x is greater or equal to y. So make sure you indicate all the inequalities. We go to the next one. The next one looks like this. X plus 90. So for this one, just find the two coordinates, x-intercept and y-intercept. So I'll say my point A and my point B. So for my point A, I'll say x is equal to 0. So always say x is equal to 0. This is it will be the x-intercept. So the y-intercept. X is equal to 0. You put you put a 0 here. It shall remain with 0 plus y is less or equal to 90. Meaning the y value will just be a 90. So you come and do the same here. When y is equal to 0, what will be x? So here there is x. When y is a 0, you shall have a 90 as x. So these are the coordinates. You just plot them. So my A is 0, 90. It's passing at 90 right here. Okay. So that's why it's passing. Okay. I guess you can see at 90 over here. Right here. And then on the x-axis, it's passing also at 90. It's right over here. So just now join those two. Okay. You join those 2 points. You join nicely. Okay. So when you join, you shade, because they said x plus y is greater, is less or equal to 90. So when you look at this, the less is right here, and we want the opposite, which is the greater. We shade the opposite, which is the greater. So this is the region we need to shade, or the side we need to shade nice and easy. So you shade. You do your proper shading. Make sure you shade nicely. Okay? Make sure your shading is properly done to avoid issues. Okay? So once you shade, this, what you've just done, will give you 9 marks here. So this is 5 marks. The graphing, the inequalities, after shading them, you get 5 marks plus the inequalities. These inequalities you found, it's 4 marks. So it means you've gotten 9 marks so far. So now we are remaining with of course 3 marks. We are remaining with 3 marks. So the next question here, let me read the next question. they're saying the profit on the sale of type A, okay, of type A cake is 30 kwacha, and profit on the type B cake is 50 kwacha. How many cakes of type can be baked to make maximum profit? So for this one, guys, you just come up with what we call objective function, where you indicate that this is my question C, and then you write 30, because 30 is for it's the profit for type A. So 30, and then since it's type A, you say 30x plus 50. It's for type B. So you say 50y, because y is representing type B. You say equal to. So once you write this objective function, you identify the coordinates. You see where they are meeting here, the intersection of these lines. Can you see? So this is 45, 45. This one here is 70, 20. 70, 20. And this one is 30, 20. This one is 30, 30. Okay? So you identify the coordinates. After identifying the coordinates, of course, you now start testing them. This is what you do. Let me write the objective function here. It was a 30x plus 50y is equal to. So you start plugging in. So for example, I'll start with this. So I'll say I have 30, 30. So this 30 is the x-axis. This one is the y-axis. So I'll plug them in here. X is 30 plus here I have 50. Y is a 30. Like that. So I solve. When I solve, what value am I getting? When I solve, nicely solve, what value am I getting here? I'm getting a 2,400 kwacha. Okay? So you have to do the same. What I've just done here, the same. Here also, let me show you. So this is 30, 20. So I'll do the same. So I'll write 30, open bracket. Where there's x, I'll put a 30 plus. Where there's y there, I'll put a 20. And then I work out. So that's 30 plus 30 open bracket, close, 30 inside plus 50 there, open, 20 inside the brackets there. I'm getting a 190, 1,900 kwacha, 1,900 kwacha. So the same, even here, you do the same, here you do the same. So now, when you do that, so you find what will give you the biggest or the highest profit. Of course, it's this one when you punch. So make sure you do that. So when you find that it's this one, you show your work. You come here, you say, okay, this is 30, to show the examiner that really you know what you are doing. Okay? So I know it's 45 after trying, because I've tried. So it's 45. When I work out, this will give me 3,600 kwacha. So this is what I'm getting. So now after understanding, I'll say, okay, type P, I'll say then here, type A must be 45. Okay, and 45 type B is what is giving me maximum profit. Let's go now to the last question. So the last question here, we shall say it's D. They're asking us to calculate the maximum profit. So for the maximum profit, we just get what is here. That is 3,600 kwacha is our maximum profit. So this is how the question was supposed to be answered. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to share, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you have not yet done so. Follow me on my Facebook page, my TikTok, the same name, Jacob Sichamba Online Math. And if you really need more help, we offer online tuitions in mathematics, English, additional mathematics, science, biology, and many more options. So all what you need to do is to contact us on 0969 17 57 01. So let me just go through now. If the examiner was to mark you, so they'll mark you here, they'll mark you here, here, here. And they'll be giving you 1 mark, 1 mark, 1 mark, 1 mark. Okay? And then they come to the inequalities. Of course, they'll mark you for this one. They'll give you 2 marks here. They'll give you 1 mark for this one. They'll give you 1 mark here. They'll definitely give you a mark here for this. So they are marking all the inequalities. Okay? After marking those inequalities, they'll come over here. They'll come and mark you for this statement. Okay? And the work that you've shown. So they'll mark and give you 2 marks. Okay? Here, they'll come and mark and give you 1 mark. So when you count all these, 1, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It will be 12. So meaning you've gotten 12 out of 12. This is very good. So this is what they'll do. Thank you and bye-bye.